last victim today is Vitaly Korolov. He is an engineer from our esteemed quality assurance team. Vitaly is an expert on REST API, Search API, AWS, so please seek him out if you have questions in any of those areas. But today he's going to be talking to you about how you deploy MarkLogic on AWS. And one slight problem is he's also the event photographer. We didn't really think this through, so if you could take a selfie at some point during your presentation, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Let's get started. As Denise said, I'll talk about step-by-step instructions on how to get MarkLogic on AWS or Amazon Web Services. It's not as long as you might think. On Marketplace, we have a couple of versions of MarkLogic available. There's the Developer Edition and Enterprise Edition. Developer Edition only incurs AWS usage fees, while Enterprise also includes the production license. Okay, we'll try out the Developer Edition for the demo. Okay, so to get started, all we have to do is click Continue. The next step is to select Amazon region, AWS region. The hosting fees will vary by region, but MarkLogic cost will remain the same. Let's go with US West. Okay, looking good. Next step is to choose an EC2 instance type. It's critical to choose the right instance type for your production environment. Whether it's general purpose, memory optimized, or compute optimized will depend on your application behavior. We'll go ahead and choose one of the general purpose types for the demo. And click Next. We don't need to change any of the instance details, so we'll just go to the next step to add storage. The root volume is there by default, nothing to do, but we need to add our data volume. MarkLogic expects data volume to be mounted on dev SDF. We'll go ahead and check that. We'll allocate 214 gigabytes of storage. We're not going to use that much, but this is the minimum amount required to take advantage of the maximum throughput on Amazon. Next step. One thing to mention, it's good to, as a rule of thumb, you want to add additional ABS volumes for every 4 virtual CPUs that you have. To tag instances, it's generally a good practice to tag your instances in shared environment. So we'll go ahead and add some kind of tag to our instance. And next, we'll have to configure security groups. MarkLogic needs some additional ports open. So we'll go ahead and open up ports in the range of 7997 and 8100. And we'll allow access from any source, just for the demo purpose. In production, you want to consider a more secure configuration. Next, we need to review our configuration. If everything looks good, we'll go ahead and proceed to launch. Here we can select an SSH key, which will allow us to log in to the instance over SSH. Launch instances. At this point, you could grab a cup of coffee, and once you're back, Amazon should launch your instance, mount all the volumes, and you're almost ready to go. At this point, all we need is the public DNS name, which we can grab from here, and also an instance ID, which is set as the password for the admin user. So once we have that, we can access our instance on port 8001, and we can log in as admin user with instance ID as a password. Okay. And here we have a complete instance of MarkLogic running on AWS. As simple as that. In summary, to get MarkLogic up and running in AWS is not as hard as you might think. We also have CloudFormation scripts available, which will allow you to bring up a multi-node cluster in AWS environment. Consider choosing the right instance type for your environment. Try out different instance types and sizes, and be sure to test them out. And consider over-provisioning the EBS volume size in order to take advantage of additional IOPS that Amazon provides. Well, I have a couple more minutes, so I'll just maybe take a couple of pictures. Maybe a selfie.
You're obviously way ahead of me on that one. That's fine. Just one quick question, though. So for everyone who did not memorize everything they just saw, where would they go to? Do they need to become an Amazon expert first and then do the, I mean, how do you go about becoming proficient at this?
I would say documentation is the key. We have great documentation on MarkLogic website where we have quick starts and user guides for EC2. Also, there's great documentation on Amazon website for AWS. Doesn't take as long as you think. 5 minutes of reading and you can get started.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you.